everyone, it's Bren here. Welcome back to this week's garden update. I hope you're all keeping well and healthy in these times we're going through at the moment. Now, before I go and show you around the garden, I did want to say that last week I had mentioned we were getting 2 new chickens. They haven't arrived yet. They were meant to come last Saturday. Unfortunately they didn't, so hopefully tomorrow they'll be here. Fingers crossed. Anyway, let me go and show you around. We got a beautiful bit of rain last night. I recorded this video this morning and the garden looked so good. I can't wait to show you. I'm standing in the very back corner of our property. Do you remember a few months ago I showed you here? This is the new area that I put in with the rows, and I put in different tomato plants and flowers, and I'm just taking a look at it now. I'm pretty pleased with how this has turned out. There'll be more and more flowers every week to show you down here, but let's take a look at some of the tomatoes. These ones here are the orange currant tomatoes. Very small and a burst of sweetness. I feel like a broken record when I say this, but I still haven't tied them up to the stake. I was thinking today, as part of learning from home with my kids, because I have them at home now, I might get them to come out here and harvest all of these tomatoes. Let me show you the other ones. These ones are the white cherry tomatoes. A lot of pruning needs to be done on these. And over here, these ones are called sweet cherry. I'll grab one of them and take a look. This is sweet cherry. It should be fine to eat. And then beside that, this plant here is black cherry. I don't think there's any on that at the moment to pick off, but there is on this one here, which is the blueberry tomatoes. I can feel myself crushing some of them under my feet because they're just kind of sprawling all over the ground. These ones are really quite interesting. So that's one that's completely ripe now, and then there's some developing on the plant. I'll just pop these ones down for the moment down here and show you this one. So this one is still hasn't ripened yet. You can see it's still partly green, and what I love about these tomatoes is that they have this kind of deep purple, black, almost black colour to them. And that colour there is from a pigment which is in it called anthocyanin. Put the name up on the screen. It's the same pigment that you find in blueberries. I guess that's probably why they're called blueberry tomatoes. And over this way, this is one of my cotton plants. I was having a look at it yesterday to see if I could find any buds appearing. I'm not sure if even that's the right thing to call them, but it looks like there's a lot of leaves or possibly buds unraveling in here. And then beside that I have another amaranth here, and that one looks like it's almost ready to flower as well. I can't wait to look at here next week with all the cosmos flowers hopefully opening. And along that fence line, they are all the cucamelons that I have growing. So these plants overwintered since last year. See, oh, there's a little one there. I came out here yesterday and picked a load of them, and there's still plenty on these vines. Yeah, so I overwintered these. I just cut them back to the ground and they've done wonderfully well, bouncing right back. And let's take a look at these as well. These are my birdhouse gourds. At least that's what I think they are. I thought they were meant to have more of a kind of like pear shape. Maybe they do as they grow. Yeah, and there's a load of them here. That one's kind of a bit bent. I think it got stuck slightly in the fence. And you can see here, this fence is starting to fall over as the vine grows all over it and all over my orange trees as well. I'm just trying to be careful where I step, because everywhere I step there's plants. These are some self-seeded pumpkins in there. Down this way I have a self-seeded West Indian gherkin growing all over the ground in here amongst the amaranth. It really is like a jungle. And I've harvested one this week, and I do believe there's another one in here that I left to show you. Let me have a look and see if I can find it. Here it is in here. I grew these last year and they're really spiky. Let's see if I can break it off. No, I'll just leave it for the moment. I grew these last year. They're similar to a cucumber, and I grew them out the front actually. They must have self-seeded here, maybe from the compost. These are fantastic. So the West Indian gherkins are actually from Africa. I might open this one up later on so you can have a look inside. I'm leaving this area now past the Archway that has lots of red noodle snake beans growing up on it, as well as the other side. You just go up over here. On the other side there's another variety of beans which I can't even remember what they are. Lots of them on it too, as well as some more cucamelons. I'm going to head over to where the dahlias are, over here, because they're starting to look really beautiful as more of the flowers open up. It's funny, I thought, you know, being at home a lot more would mean I'd actually get on top of the garden, but doing the learning from home takes up so much time. Teachers are absolutely amazing, aren't they? Over here, the vines that I had in here, so the French pumpkin, you can see one of them there, it's not fully developed yet. The vine is starting to get really diseased and it's dying off. And also the plant where I had those lemon cucumbers, that's pretty much gone as well. I might end up even just pulling the two of them out so I can plant them up with some more winter vegetables. I'm so delighted with this Archway. Like really, I just never thought this would happen, that it would fill up out like this back, you know, a couple of months ago when the weather conditions and the bushfires was so harsh. I'm on the other side of the Archway, and that there is one of the new Guinea Bean gourds. I did harvest one this week and I'm going to pick that one off too now so I can show you what it looks like inside. So what I'll do is I'll leave the two of these over here and we'll come back to them later on. Seeds that I've sown for my autumn winter crops are starting to germinate. So here I've got lots of carrots in this container, and as soon as I clear out another bed over in the raised garden bed area, I will dedicate that to carrots as well. But hopefully, you know, this crop here will come in a bit earlier. I can't remember the exact name of this variety, but I do know they're like a lot smaller, so they can grow in containers. I have some peas in here. Some of them are popping through. You can see little bits of green, and I'm going to do a really big row down the back of the garden once I get it cleared out, if I ever do. And you know, I've got some leeks and lettuce. Over here is some spring onions, bok choy, and then lots of seedlings here as well. I'm going to wait until they get a little bit bigger and I'll plant them out. And I haven't made a huge start on sowing from seeds yet. I keep on meaning to do it, but I just keep on running out of time. But I hopefully will get it done this weekend. Here we are over at the raised garden beds. A couple of the plants that are in the pots at the entryway, like the amaranth over there, and you can see the zinnia are starting to die back. The cosmos is still looking good. I might pull out the plants from those two containers and pot them up with maybe some calendula or something. Let's take a look in here. I have to be careful where I step that I don't squash anything. These plants here and over there are the Mexican sunflowers that have self-seeded. You can actually see one of the orange flowers there on top. I'll show you that in a minute. Monty Don got me onto them. I think I saw a video of him growing them a couple of years ago. Oops, I'm gonna fall over. And he he loves them, so I was delighted when I saw all of them self-seed. Over here where I've cut back the tomato plants, they're starting to ripen up nicely. I haven't bagged them up. I don't know if that's the right decision or not. I haven't seen many fruit flies. They could still be about, but maybe not because the weather's starting to cool down a bit. But you can see there that cutting back the foliage and exposing the plants, the tomatoes, to more sunlight seems to be helping them to ripen up. Down here, still got lots of capsicums. Yeah, I need to come in here and do a lot of work. Okay, and up here is one of the first, in the back garden at least, the Mexican sunflowers. So even though they've got quite a nice long stem, I found from my experience last year, they seem to droop very easily when you use them as a cut flower. But, you know, we'll just enjoy them outside. And look at this! I have so many seeds that have germinated. So in this bed, this is the one that has the turnips. And you can see there that they're germinating. I put them in rows. I'll probably start thinning them out soon. And then in this bed, this is where I put my beetroots. And there's no sign of anything coming up yet, but it won't be long. Do you know what I just realised? I just said that I need to clear a bed out for carrots. Well, actually I did already. Sorry, I'm just losing my mind. This bed here is full of carrot seeds I put in this week. Over in this bed I put some of the purple sprouting broccoli seedlings. Over there, there's 4 of them. So with me, I tend to change my mind quite a lot when I have plans. So last week I may have said I was putting something else in these 2 beds, but this is what's finally gone in them. And these are some little pansy seedlings which I bought a couple of weeks ago. This one there flowering, it's like a burgundy kind of reddish colour. Pop them in there, have a nice row of them. And yes, I did. I just decided I was going to pull out all the tomato plants. I could have stripped them all back like the way I did here with this Tommy Toe one, but I just wanted to get rid of them. I'm loving the trickling of rain that we're getting today. It's perfect timing as well with autumn and planting and sowing. It's great for the soil and the ground. We'll head over this way. Slightly overgrown as usual, but you can see at the far back there now there's some more flowers of the cosmos. Whoops, just over there. And there'll be a lot more soon. This is a whole patch here, actually all along the front, all here. These are all cosmos flowers. And on the archway, it's looking good as well. I harvested a load of these tomatoes. These are the little kind of currant type tomatoes that I got seedlings from my friend a few years ago. Absolutely packed with them. It's kind of interesting though, because the birds have not been going near them. I don't know whether it's because maybe they just can't find them in here, or, you know, because that kind of drought isn't as severe anymore. There's more places where they can find food, and lots of beans. I'm going to have to pick all of these off as well today. Heaps of beans. Let's open up this first, which is the West Indian gherkin. You can see there that it does look very similar on the inside. There's a mosquito. It looks very similar on the inside to a cucumber. It's quite spiky, but they're easy enough, just kind of brushed off like this. And then you can just slice it up and eat it as a snack. They're also called maroon cucumbers. They have quite a few different names. And they tend, this is my 2nd year growing them, and they tend to kind of fruit, or, you know, the harvest time seems to be in autumn for me here where I live in New South Wales. The other point I wanted to mention about these is that they seem really disease resistant, the plants. So while I have other cucumber plants, you know, being covered with powdery mildew and kind of dying off. These ones, I remember the plant last year lasted right up until the first frost, which is incredible. Next, I'm going to cut open this new Guinea Bean gourd, and I cut one open this week and it was quite surprising. Let me show you what I mean. It cuts really easily. So the smell is the first thing I notice. It smells like earth, like, you know, when you're digging up potatoes, that really fresh earthy smell. Also, it has this white kind of spongy flesh on the inside, and on the outside it's green. When I tried it this week, the green part is more crisp and juicy, and then the inside is more spongy and soft. If I push on it there, you can see how it's, as I described, kind of soft and squishy in the center, and I've taken a bite as well. I posted one of these on my TikTok account, and a lot of people suggested that you can chop it up and put it into some broth, and it's really delicious in a soup. I haven't actually tried that yet, but I think I'll give it a go. I'm back over at the raised garden beds. Thank you so much for watching this week's garden update. I'll try and post an extra video again this week, but I will definitely be back here next Friday to show you around the garden.